हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू लॉ लर्निंग स्कूल। आज की वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करेंगे इम्पॉर्टेंट एमसीक्यूज़। इससे पहले भी मैंने एमसीक्यूज़ ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट की काफ़ी ज़्यादा वीडियोस बनाई हैं, जो आपकी प्लेलिस्ट में जाके आप उसको देख सकते हैं। देन फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करते हैं। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज़ नो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कैन अराइज। ऑप्शन ए, इफ़ द ऑफर इज़ नॉट मेड as a certain person, and option B, if the offer is made to an a certain person. Option C, if the acceptance is made by an a certain person, and option D, if the acceptance is made by an a certain person. Then option C is the right answer, if the acceptance is made by an a certain person. And the next question is an acceptance containing addition, limitation or other modification shall amount to. The first option is rejection of offer, valid exceptions, and C is a counter offer. D is both A and C. And the right answer is D, both A and C. And the next question is unapproval of tender. A concluded contract can arise immediately. A concluded contract can arise only when an order is placed on the basis of tender and the tender is converted into a standing offer. And option D is both B and C. Then right answer is option D, both B and C. And the next question is a clause in the tender authorizing the party inviting tenders to terminate the contract at any time for the future supplies. Option A क्या है, destroy the very basis of the contract and clause is void. And B is does not destroy on the basis of contract and clauses is valid. Option C is make the entire contract void. Option D is make the contract voidable. And option B is the right answer, does not destroy on the basis of contract, the clause is valid. And the next question is presumption of undue influence can be raised in case of. Option A is apparently unconscious bargaining, and B, relationship of parties being such that one party in a position to dominate the will of other. And option C is a contact with Pardarshin lady. And option D is all of the above. Then right answer is all of the above. And the next question is mere silence is not fraud unless there is a duty to speak. Silence is deceptive and there is a change in the circumstances to be brought to the notice of another party. And option D is all of the above. Then right answer is option D, all of the above. And the next question is frustration of a contract implies commercial hardship, physical impossibility due to the disappearance of the subject matter of the contract, or the object has failed to materialize. And option C, both A and B. Option D is neither A or nor B or nor C. Then right answer is B, physical impossibility due to disappearance of the subject matter of the contract, or the object has failed to materialize. And the next question is A, in consideration of B, discounting at A request bill of exchange for C and guarantee to B. For 12 months, the due payment of all such bill to extend 5,000 rupees. B, discounts bill for C to extend 2,000 rupees afterwards. At the time the 3 month, A revoke the guarantee. Then option क्या है, the revocation does not discharge A from all liability to B for any subsequent discount, and but A is liable to B for 2,000 rupees on default of C. The revocation discharge A from all liability to B for any subsequent discount, but A is not liable to pay to B for 2000 rupees on default of C. And option C is the revocation discharge A from all liability to B all and for any subsequent discount, and but A is liable to B for 2000 rupees on default of C. Then the option D is none of these, and option C is the right answer. This revocation is revocation discharge A from all liability to B any subsequent discount, but A is liable to B for 2000 rupees on default of C. And another question is A, in consideration that B will employ C in collecting the rent of B, जिम्मेदारी, and promise B to be responsible to the amount of 5000 rupees for the due collection and payment by C of those rent. A, this is discontinuing guarantee. Option B, this is a continuing guarantee. This is a stipulation by penalty. Option D is none of these. The right answer is option C. Option B, this is continuing guarantee. And the next question is A, attempting to deceive B, falsely represent that 500 months of indigo are made annually A's factory and thereby induce B to buy the factory. And option A is the contract is not voidable only at the option B, and the contract is voidable only option B, and either A and B and option D is none of these. The right answer is option B. The contract is voidable only at the option of B. And another question is A on board an English ship on the high seas clauses B to enter into an agreement by an act amounting to criminal intimidation under the Indian Penal Code Act number 45 of 1860. Afterwards sues B for breach of contract in Kolkata. Then option क्या है? A has not employed cautions as his act is not an offence by the law of England, and option B has not employed caution as section 506 of Indian Penal Code Act number 45 of 1860 and was not enforced at the time when or place where the act was done. And option C, A has employed caution although this act is not an offence by law of England, and although the section 506 of Indian Penal Code Act number 45 of 1860 was not enforced at the time when or place where the act was done. Then option D is none of these, and right answer is option C. And the next question is A, the captain of B ship sign bill of landing without having received and board the goods mentioned herein. Option A क्या है? Bill of landing are not void as between B and the pretended consignor, and B bill of lading are partially void as between B and the pretended consignor, and the bill of lending are void as between B and pretended consignor, and option D is none of these. Then right answer is option C. And next question is A, who is dealer in coconut oil only and agrees to sell B 100 tons of oil. Then option क्या है? A, the nature of A's trade affords no indication of the meaning of word, and A has entered into a contract for the sale of 100 tons of coconut oil. And option B क्या है? The nature of A's trade affords an indication of meaning of the word, and A has entered into a contract for the sale of 100 tons of coconut oil. And option C is either A and B. Option D is none of these. The right answer is option B. Another question is A. Who is B. Mukhtar and promising to exercise his influence such as with V in favor of C, and C promising to pay 1000 rupees to A. Then option क्या है? A. Agreement is void because it is immoral, and option B is the agreement is not void because it is immoral, and option C either A and B, and option D is none of these. The right answer is option A. The agreement is void because it is immoral. And the next question is A. Who is owes 500 rupees worth of rice to B. A is acting as agent for C in the transaction, but B has neither knowledge or not reasonable ground of suspicions that such is the case. Option A. C can compel B to take the rice without allowing him to set off A's debt, and option B is C cannot compel B to take the rice by allowing him to set off A's debt, and option C is C cannot compel to take the rice without allowing him to set off A's debt, and option D is none of these. The right answer is option C. And the next question is A without authority buys goods off for B. Afterward, B sells them to C on his account. Question है A without authority buys goods B. Afterward, B sells them to C on its own account. Then option है B's conduct does not imply a ratification of the purchase made for him by A, and option B is B conduct implies a ratification of the purchase made for A by him, and B conduct implies a ratification of purchase made for him by A, and option D none of these. Then right answer is option C. And the next question is A without B authority lends B money to C. Afterward, B accept interest on the money from C. And option क्या है? B's conduct does not imply a ratification of the loan, and B's conduct implies a partial ratification on the loan, and B's conduct implies ratification of loan, and option D none of these. Then right answer is B's conduct implies a ratification of the loan. And the next question is A's son has forged B name to promissory note, and B under threat of prosecuting A's son obtaining a bond from A for the amount of forged note. Option क्या है? If B sue on the bond and the court will not set the bond aside, and option B क्या है? If B sue on his bond, the court may set the bond aside, and either A and B, and none of these. The right answer is option B. Okay, and the next question is accessory contract is made for assuring the performance of prior contract by the same party by suretyship, mortgage, pledge, ऑल ऑफ देम, द राइट आंसर इज ऑल ऑफ देम। ओके, आज की वीडियो में इतना ही। नेक्स्ट के बाकी क्वेश्चन जो है वो हम नेक्स्ट वीडियो में डिस्कस करेंगे। यदि आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी है देन डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब एंड प्रेस द बेल आइकन फॉर फर्दर नोटिफिकेशन। और साथ ही साथ मैं आपको बताती चलूँ कि मेरे ही यूट्यूब चैनल पर जो लॉ लर्निंग स्कूल का एक जो चैनल है उसमें प्लेलिस्ट बनी हुई है। यदि आप वो वाली वीडियोस देखना चाहते हैं तो आप मेरे चैनल को लाइक करिएगा, शेयर करिएगा, सब्सक्राइब करिएगा ताकि आगे आने वाली जितनी भी वीडियोस हैं उनकी नोटिफिकेशन आप तक पहुंच सके।